All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another AssetMule Office Hours. I'm super excited for this one. For those that don't know me, I'm Justin Dorfman. I'm one of the co-founders here at AssetMule. Today, we don't have my partner in crime, George Soto. He's got, I think, a kids' basketball game or something like that he had to attend. So he's definitely got his priorities straight, but we'll miss him today. But we have Michelle, one of my favorite PMMs on LinkedIn. We haven't met in person, Michelle, but I feel I know you so well from all the chats and stuff like that on LinkedIn. So really excited to have you on today and talking about a topic that I know many are really excited about. As product marketers, we're all thinking about AI and how it's going to impact our work and how we can use it, right, to become 10x PMMs is what I like to say. And I've been following your PMM hacks as well as your prompts of the week sort of posts on LinkedIn. And I thought, who better to bring on to give us some top use cases to check out for AI. So thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah, happy to be. Yeah, anything AI, anyone that allows me to nerd out on AI with them, I am happy to do it. So thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, for those that haven't joined before, this is going to be a demo and Q&A. We'll leave some time at the end as well for questions, but definitely don't hesitate to throw questions into the chat. And I'll sort of be monitoring those while I also throw in my own questions that I have for Michelle today and trying to sort of sprinkle those questions in. But without further ado, Michelle, I think we tasked you with three of your top use cases. So I'm going to hand it over to you and feel free to present your screen. And let's
Yeah,
see some of these use cases that you've been using AI for.
perfect. I think it's so funny because I'm like 30 minutes for three use cases. Let's do it.
Well, actually, Michelle, before we dive in, why
Oh
don't
yeah.
maybe for those that don't know you that well, why don't you share a little bit about your background, who you are a little bit? I'm such a fan, so
Minor
I figure
detail.
like everybody, yeah. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and also it would be interesting to hear a little bit about your AI journey. Right, when did you start playing around with AI? Maybe what were some of the things that sort of gave you that light bulb moment?
Totally. I know. I'm like, let's just dig into the tools. Like, so product marketing of me. I get excited. So, yes. Hi, everyone. I am the director of product marketing currently at a company called Treasure Data, focused on customer data. But prior to that, I was at a 30-person startup called MetaRouter as the only product marketer on a marketing team of two. And we, with really big hopes, and like the product was so good. And when you get excited about the product and like actually making an impact in big organizations, you have to like think big, go big, get your name out there any way and every way you can. And so for me, Chat GPT was like tip of the iceberg. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can write a blog post and like do all these kind of things as a good, really great starting point. That saved me so much time off the bat. And I just started going down this, I guess, rabbit hole of like, what else can I use to save all this time? Because as a solo and founding product marketer building a company, like you have to figure that out and you have to find resources and ways to do this. And so I don't know, I kind of like created a checklist of different things I was trying to do and different problems I was having and how much time it took. So I started with some of my more timely things that was just taking forever and started saying, okay, is there an AI for that? And again, went down this rabbit hole of trying new things and what worked and what didn't work and how does one tool compare to another tool. And so my geeky side came out with also the, I don't want to say desperation mode, and I don't like the word scrappy either, but like, innovative side, I guess. So there are finally tools that can help do this for us. And so what actually works, what doesn't work. Everyone and their mother has an AI tool. So kind of a combination of cutting through the noise and experimenting with all these things. It's been really fun for me. Like I genuinely enjoy it, but I think like stuff like this, I enjoy even more of how can I share this in a way that really lifts us all up. I fully believe like a rising tide lifts all boats, and I think AI can really do that for us. And so how do we power each other and build this community of having these conversations, how we're using AI to help each other um, in a really cool way. So yeah, it's
That's
been a fun
awesome.
journey.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing all your learnings on LinkedIn. I think for me in particular, it's been really helpful. Every so often I'll see one of your posts and I'll be like, "Oh, that's definitely a problem I have. Let me try that out." So excited to dig in today to the top three that come to mind for you. So I think you're sharing your screen. I'm going to add that screen share now to the stage.
Perfect.
And yeah, let's dive in with
Cool.
sort of use case number one here.
And that being said, real quick, if you do have ideas, tips, tricks, or you find something helpful, nothing makes me feel better than someone saying, oh, like, I literally had someone like, were you listening in on this meeting I was just in? Like, were you in our boardroom? I'm like, no, but if I can help, let me know. So thank you. That like totally makes my day. But yeah, let's jump into it. So it was hard to just pick three. And I say that because, again, there's so many different things that product marketers do, so many different focuses that we have within our roles. And so it was kind of hard to pick three. But this one I was really excited to share because I had posted it in one of the PMM hacks and someone was like, this is just too good to be true. And I'm like, let me show you. There are some things to tweak, and I'm working with the founder, kind of talking through what would be really good for product marketing. But this is, again, one of those, I don't know if I typically hear was this too good to be true, but so I wanted to kind of show what that looks like, because this is one of my new favorite tools. So it's called Alfana. And what it does is it gives you basically templates to do something like a product launch. So if you're previously right now probably in ChatGPT saying, hey, take this messaging or take this blurb and turn it into, you know, a blog post, a PR, a social copy, whatever, for a launch that you're doing, Alfana can do it like way easier, and I think it's way more fun. So the one caveat to Alfana is it does use a video right now. So you upload a video that it then transcribes and pulls all of this stuff out of, which for me, I think is actually better. I'd rather have someone talking like a conversation about a launch than just like copying and pasting, I don't know, like a messaging doc or a blog post. So I actually think for something like a product launch, this can actually be an advantage. But I will say that is the one caveat in using this tool currently, but they are working on uploading documents like you would into like a ChatGPT or something like that. So to use this, what I really like is that there's a ton of different projects and cards and things like that. So you can literally, I mean, almost find anything. And these are established prompts, like all these really cool things you can put in here. Templates is my favorite. So again, there's like a marketing template and then featured templates. So all these different templates you can use. And of course, my favorite is a product launch toolkit. So this will show you all the things that it will produce as this template. So you've got, you know, your launch overview, your LinkedIn post, your FAQ sheet, your press release, landing page copy. I mean, like everything you could ask for a product launch. And what you do is you'll upload your video. So for example, I'll show you one I uploaded was literally a 2-minute video of like our product vision, short and sweet. And I'll show you what the outcome was. But again, you can do anything, a sales enablement conversation, a conversation you just have with your product manager. If you just want to talk through messaging, or even like bonus points if you're talking to a customer, it's really cool because then you get kind of that back and forth and what they see as valuable about a launch. But you can upload that, you know, the link from the library, whatever, however you have it, you can upload it. It sometimes takes a minute to do. So I took, again, this 2-minute like vision video that we just produced for a launch we had yesterday. So good timing. And I went ahead and uploaded it into the tool. So you can see the video here. Like I said, it might take a second or two, but like one click for the template, and you get all of these individual cards. So you have the launch overview, highlights from that clip. So if you have a longer clip, like a customer speaking, it'll pull out the highlights for you, the shorts, like blog post, newsletter, press release. I mean, everything you could ask for in one section. And what's really cool about this too is within these cards, you can edit, you can regenerate, you can copy. You can even change the prompt if you want it to be a certain tone or cater to a certain audience. I mean, there's all these things you can do within this one place, which again, if you're using ChatGPT, it's like, well, where did my blog post go? And how do I find, you know, what I was just working on? Or if I want to go back, I don't know, to a social post, or I make a change to a prompt, and I want that to apply to other aspects of my launch material. So for example, like we've never done this, going back and forth on a product name, right? You move from one product name to another product name. You want to make sure it's updated on the launch materials. This can do that too. So I was blown away. I just thought this was such a neat way to get started. Again, it's organized in one place, and then you get that saves these projects, right? So if I save this one launch template, but I'm working on another launch, or, you know, I don't know, something else, it all saves in here. So this is my quick hack number one that I'm just like having so much fun playing around with and tweaking prompts and things like that.
Yeah, and we can vouch for Alfana as well. I know George is actually good friends with Sebastian, the founder over there, and has been using the tool since I think before it launched, and just has been raving about it. So this is definitely one to check out. And I think, Michelle, one thing that I've learned in using AI is that context is so important for generating good outputs. And maybe if you're a new AI user, you're just using ChatGPT or something like that for the first time, you may not know that, and you may be just like throwing prompts in there and being like, "Why are the results not great? Like, why doesn't it like know the information that I'm trying to get out of it?" Tools like this, what I really love is that even for those that aren't as familiar with AI, it sort of context is built into it, right? You're providing a video, and it's using that as the context to generate all this other information. And again, I think that's like a really, really important learning that I've had using AI is how important that context is to get a good output. So tools like
Yes.
this that sort of embed that in the workflow just make it more seamless.
I just realized I don't think I was showing the screen as I was talking because it was
Oh,
a
no
new tab.
worries.
Yes. Now I'm like just throwing through, but I mean, it really is so cool. Again, editing, change the prompt, whatever you need to do, hide it, whatever. So yeah, I'm glad you guys like it too because it's like making my life so much easier. So
Cool. So we've
um,
got just looking at this page, we've got from the video, we've got a blog post. What else do we have there? I saw like an elevator pitch, email. Yeah, email news. Yeah, it's got everything really you need to sort of get all that launch material together. Super cool.
yeah, SEO. I mean, things that I
Wow.
don't even always think of, right? I mean, it's really cool
Yeah.
to see. And then the clips, like I said, if you have a customer speaking, you can pull some of that out. It's just like it's really cool. FAQ, which I hate doing, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Awesome. Awesome.
So there's number one. But you were talking about prompting, so maybe I'll jump into that really quickly. So I call it. There's two things that I like to think about, and then I'll dig into like some of my other use cases. But when you're thinking about writing your prompt, I like to think about the three C's of prompt engineering. I don't know why this sticks in my head,
Mm.
but it does. Is the context, right? Like setting the stage. Who is this for? What do they care about? Any persona information that you have. Um, Examples. I love also adding like please share an analogy of like when this would make sense because I'm big on analogies or like, include a personal story. When would a customer actually use this or need this, something like that. The second C here I have is constraints. So again, tone, format, perspective. Is it technical? Is it educational? Is it like a friendly perspective? Is it like a bold, strong point of view? Like what kind of tone and constraint do you want it to be in? This is also really good for things like award submissions, or we just use this in terms of getting word count down for like analyst questions, Q&A when you're doing those analyst reports, which take forever. So it's something to think about for that. And then of course, clarity, I think that's kind of obvious, but it's also so true. Like what specifically are you looking to do with this, right? Like if you want a certain outcome, should it resonate with a certain persona? Like there's other clarifying questions that you can do here. What I really like to do is that if you're not feeling like you're getting the output you need, like ask a million questions back. If it's data,
Mm.
dig into this, make sure you cite it. If something doesn't feel clear, be like, why did you say it this way? Or, like keep asking it questions because it goes down its own rabbit hole and it's kind of fun to see why it thinks things or, what it comes up with and what its reasoning internally is, which is I think also why we've seen those fun, what is your view of me based on what I've written in chat GPT, right? And it generates an image, like something fun like that. But it's like funny to see how it thinks internally. So you can always ask it more questions and go down their rabbit hole. But pro tip here, if you don't know where to start, if you feel like you're not getting good outputs, if your prompts just are falling flat, or you just want to test your prompt versus something else, I'm obsessed with Prompt Genie. This is just like a quick and easy tool to use that, yeah, I was like, most people probably have heard of this by now, but if you compare side by side the outputs, it's like wild. So I don't know, write a blog post about, I don't know, customer data platforms. Sure, why not? And it'll give you a totally different prompt that is like, consider these things for this persona. Here's what the structure should be. So of course you can tweak what this is, but you copy and paste this versus something that I usually put in chat GPT, which might be what you just saw. It really digs into better examples and gives you better output. So quick little pro hack. there.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you've used any of these tools. I actually haven't used Prompt Genie before. Somebody recently told me about one called, I think it's called Prompt Cowboy AI.
Oh,
That also similar thing. Like you can kind of give it the dumb version of the prompt, the very simple version, and then it kind of generates something for you. And what's really nice about it is maybe it's similar to this as well. Then there are some options on the side to give it a little bit more context. Answer some questions, and then it sort of regenerates the prompts. And I found it's pretty good. I mean, I do some editing of the prompts after the fact, but I mean, to go from 0 to 90%, right? Just by putting in a very simple version of our prompts is really, really helpful. But I'll definitely
yeah.
try Prompt Genie.
It's I mean, it's fun to it's fun for me to like run these battles, right? So you could do my prompt versus prompt genie versus prompt cowboy, and
Yeah.
just like see what the result, like just they're gonna start battling each other. I'm dating myself. What was that show? Like the robot fights,
Oh yeah. Yeah. The robot fights. Yeah. I forget the
whatever.
name
It's
of the
like
show, but yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
we're doing that with like AI now, either what
Yeah.
tool you're using or what the prompts are. And I think it's really kind of fun to compare. So maybe that'll be my next my next experiment. Is what prompt works best, like what platform.
Yeah, and one other piece of advice I have for folks out there that really helped me when I was getting started. I know you have that framework, and that's actually a really nice 3 C's. I took note of it because I'm gonna start using that as well. But Jeff Sue, I don't know if you know, he's a YouTube sort of guy, and he does a lot of great videos on the introduction to AI stuff. And he had a really good video on prompting. It was a little bit more involved than the 3 C's that you just had. I really like the simplicity of that one. It had a lot of elements maybe that I don't quite use in all my prompts. But it was like maybe 5 or 6 things, right? Like I forget exactly what it was, but it was like persona and like tone and task and context, like you said, and output or format or something like that, right? There are a bunch of them. So there's some great videos out there. Oh, battle bots. Somebody wrote in the
Yes.
comments. I think that's the show.
Oh,
Here we
thank
go.
you.
Battle
Yep.
bots. Rob to the rescue. We got a question here. Can you upload files in there? I don't know if this is. Oh, is this? I don't know if this is a question about Prompt Genie or maybe about the prior tool Alfana. But
Oh,
I don't know. It could
yeah.
be
So
about this.
for
Like, yeah,
Alfana, no, not yet. Not like docs, just videos. And then Prompt Genie, no, but I have in some cases copied and pasted something. If you're
yeah,
really looking to pull from certain documents, I would recommend Google's Notebook LM over this. This is more of like task to be done versus like compiling a bunch of different documents or even one document. So if you think there's something good for context purposes, you can copy and paste it into the original prompt that you write. But I don't believe right now you can add a document to Prompt Genie. I don't think.
though what you can do, at least this is what I do with Prompt Cowboy, is you're going to take this prompt, right, copy and paste it and put it into ChatGPT or one of the other tools that you're using, and there you can usually upload a file if you're referencing a file in that prompt, or even like a URL to like a Google Doc or something like that, right? I know some of these will say like add link to example here, right? And you just sort of add the
Yeah.
link, copy and paste it over, and then it should work. Um,
Yeah. Love that.
let's see here. Here's a question from a LinkedIn user. Thanks for this. Where can we see Michelle's previous PMM hacks and prompt of the week post? Just scrolling through a page, or is there a roundup somewhere?
I'm horrible. So right now you can follow the hashtags. I feel like I'm an old school Twitter dinosaur. It's fine. I am working on finally consolidating that into something like a Substack in a little bit more of a cohesive way. But yes, right now it's kind of scattered on my LinkedIn. I would say if there is a certain like thing you're looking for, or, like challenge you're trying to solve, like let me know and I can probably pull some of those up. Because like for example, this is one, and Justin, maybe a good idea for you that I have not found a solution for was like how can you take a messaging doc and turn it into a 2-pager, like a very solid 2-pager.
Mm,
I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know
I
yet,
remember
but
you pinged me on that. Yeah.
let me know. So, but this is why we have these conversations, right? So unfortunately,
For
it's
sure.
like a chaotic mess. But again, there's something specific. Let me know.
Awesome, awesome. And then we got some clarification here from Lauren. She was talking about Prompt Genie for
Okay.
uploading. So again, it sounds like you can't upload files yet, but again, when you copy that prompt over to your LLM chat tool of choice, you can usually attach a file or add a link to a document.
Yep. Love it.
Cool. I think we have one more
Cool.
right here.
Yeah. And this one's pretty easy. I just really, so for those that are like have to make content, I don't know if you've ever tried to design like a carousel yourself, or like even pitch decks, and my poor designer is like, these don't look great, which is true, but it's almost like a gut check for product marketers. Like, is your messaging good enough for AI to pull out slides and a social carousel or even like a website page? So it's kind of like a gut check for me, but it also produces really good stuff. So you'll see, I mean, I work in here a lot. These are some of my projects you get to see inside the mind. But so the way I like to try and use this is I'll take something like a corporate messaging doc, right? Like and I'll download it as a file, and then put it into Gamma and say, okay, create new. You can paste in text, you can copy and paste. Wait, let me make sure I'm showing the right. Okay, copy and paste. You can actually have it generate itself, which is kind of interesting, or import a file, if you were asking about. So for me, again, typically it's a messaging doc, but it can be any type of file. So it connects, Word, PowerPoint, PDFs, which I think is interesting. Not all tools can read PDFs. Um, Google Slides, Google Docs, any kind of web page URL. This is really great if you have a blog post and you're trying to turn it into something creative, like I said, a social post or slide. So even customer stories, it can be good. And the one thing I tried that I was actually kind of shocked with is can build websites, like functional websites with like one click. So I think I said, hey, build a landing page for a networking event for this company and this company. And it did. And I was like, oh my gosh, like almost scary how well it worked. But for this specifically, I'll just kind of show you some options here. So I don't know, I'll throw in this option, upload. This is just a 2-pager, but can it take a 2-pager and turn it into a slide deck and a social carousel, which is kind of fun. So this is one of maybe the quicker AI tools to use. Since I was like, oh, we have 30 minutes, 3 things, I'll bang it out. But there are so many other cool tools to use. This is the best I've found for text to images, both for slide decks and for social carousels. I know Dectopus, which is just a fun name, is another one that's kind of fun if you're looking for slide decks. And there's a lot, again, for slide decks, but Gamma's kind of done it all for me, which I appreciate. So yeah, so it uploads a file, presentation, webpage, document, social. We'll try social, why not? Because this will actually build the carousel for you, and you get to pick from a bunch of themes. It generates all the images. Again, it'll let you choose, what level of AI do you want it to do to the content that it already uploaded. Format you can change. This is another output language I think is really nice that you can translate as well. I could not speak specifically to the accuracy, but the fact that it could take a 2-pager and translate it, I think is really exciting as well, because that's something I hated doing in the past. But for the social carousel we're doing now, you can do how many, cards, which is pages. So we'll say, I don't know, we'll do 5. It'll allow you to do freeform the content, or choose card by card what type of content you want on that individual card. One click and it'll pre-theme, whatever. It is kind of fun. The only caveat I would say that I've struggled with so far on Gamma is that if you have specific brand colors and specific brand guidelines, it can be a little hard to update that manually. I think some of the templates get pretty close. But I have let that team know if you can import your brand guidelines, that it makes it a lot easier. And then, yeah, it does it all for you. So again, with every individual card, you can ask it to be more visual. So it'll put more icons, more images in there, which is kind of fun. You can ask it to regenerate the content on that page. You can delete it. You can click right into it and edit it. That's a new one. Half shown QR code. That's kind of
Wow,
interesting.
that's cool.
Oh, I'm like, I don't know, but this is interesting this is the first time I've done a 2-pager to a social post, and I don't love these images.
Yeah.
Very interesting how it pulled. Well, we're learning together, but I mean, you can swap that out. I wonder if we ask it to be more visual, what it's going to do now that these visuals aren't great. Typically, my success rate with this has been really good, but I also usually do more of messaging doc to visual. So
Mm.
it's not, I don't usually upload something that already has visuals. But this is a cool test to kind of see what, what it does. So I just asked it to be more visual through AI. So I'll see if these icons are any better, but that's okay. So interesting. Sometimes you just got to play around with it.
Yeah, and
But it
that
is a
tends to
really
be
good
the
starting
case
point.
with I think with a lot of AI tools, right? Is like your first
Yeah,
output is not going to be your be all end all. There is iteration there, but going from again 0 to 80, 90% in a matter of seconds is I think where a lot of AI shines, right?
yeah.
We got
And they
an
need us. They
idea
still
for
need
you.
us.
Yeah, they still need the human to sort of give the guidance and iterate on it. An idea for you from that LinkedIn user, and apologies to the LinkedIn user, it's not pulling your name, but it sounds like you can use Gamma to create a carousel of your LinkedIn posts, your previous PMM hacks and prompt of the week. So there you go. That's a great
I like
idea
it.
that we'll look out
Fun.
for you for on LinkedIn.
Love
Um,
it.
Awesome. Well, that was great. I think those are the three use cases. We have a couple minutes left here, so if anybody else has any questions, feel free to drop them into the chat. This will also live on LinkedIn, the video, the recording. So feel free to add questions if you're watching this after the fact, not live. You can drop questions, tag Michele in there, and I'm sure she'll be happy to answer them. I guess one question I have for you, Michele, is if someone is just getting started with AI, right? They feel like they're behind and they want to get caught up and sort of get started taking advantage of this stuff. What would be like the best starting point you think for them?
Yeah. So I'm just gonna say, I mean, ChatGPT, like check it off the list, play around with it. In product marketing world, and maybe I'm biased, definitely try Notebook LM and Perplexity if you're trying to do some deep research and you kind of want to feel like what those tools can use. There's some really cool like new AI features within that. So for Perplexity, for example, if you just want to say, hey, I want like the most recent research on a competitor, it is shocking to see what it'll pull, or like what is the industry perspective on a certain trend in the business. So I'll say like composable CDP, and it'll pull some really good stuff. And what I like about Perplexity is it does cite its sources. Now you have to check those sources, make sure they're legit, but it is fun to kind of see that research side of AI, which is really fun to try. And then Google's Notebook LM, if you're looking for something kind of internal, it's really cool again to upload your documents and see like what it'll pull from that, as well as like, I don't know, I'll call it bonus features. So the coolest new thing in Google's Notebook LM, because we're all about repurposing content, right? Is it will, I wonder if I had it up, it'll actually show you, oh yeah, real quick. Da, 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 da. It'll
And by the way, we're getting some good feedback here. People are gonna go and check out your content. So
oh
sounds
awesome.
like everybody loves the use cases that you shared today.
A lot of thoughts. So yeah, sorry, 2 seconds because I think this is hilarious. So Notebook LM, there's create an audio overview, which is kind of cool from like text to audio, but there's this deep dive conversation. It gives you two hosts, kind of like podcast style conversation. It's so fun to, again, if you're just getting your feet wet and kind of figuring out what AI can do, this is really fun. I wouldn't necessarily suggest using it for external content, because my experience with it is that there's like a male and a female host like having a conversation, but halfway the genders switch in the conversation. Like it's very
Oh
interesting.
wow.
Um, so just again, human in the loop, like they need us, but it is kind of fun within these tools to try some of these things. So those would be my three. Get your feet wet. If you're looking to build an AI stack within your like product marketing world, like you have a budget for AI for product marketing, let's chat, because there's some other tools that I would recommend for that as well that can really help with things like sales enablement, comp intel, and some other things like that. And AssetMule is one of them too. We need to talk, Justin, because I have I have some sales reps that we need some help. So anyway, we'll chat about that too.
Awesome. Well, again, thanks so much for taking the time out of your day to jump on, share your knowledge with us. I'm excited to continue watching your exploration of AI and learn from it. And for anybody else out there that has any questions for Michele, I think LinkedIn, right? Michele is the best
Yeah,
place to find her. You can
correct.
comment in this thread. You can reach out to her directly. And if you are an AssetMule customer, thank you for being one. We love you guys, and appreciate all the support and enthusiasm for what we're building. If you're not an AssetMule customer, check it out, assetmule.ai. It's free to try. And if you like this content, we're always trying to learn, like the rest of you guys out there. We're trying to see what the next thing is, and stay on top of this crazy AI world that we now live in. So follow us on LinkedIn, and you can check out our content like this that we post basically every day. So thanks everyone for your time, and hope you all have a good day out there.
Thanks so much.